The main concept, I guess, is the tragedy of war and why we keep repeating it. Growing up in Newfoundland, I use events that in Newfoundland's history as a means to tell my stories. World War I, and this was a battle that took place 100 years ago this year. And it's a very tragic day in the history of Newfoundland. And in the rest of the country, we celebrate July 1st as Canada Day. In Newfoundland, they celebrate Canada Day, but it doesn't start till in the afternoon. In the morning, they're mourning that particular day in their history, and it's very somber, and it's like Remembrance Day is to the rest of the country. I left Newfoundland in '79, first time, and I went back for a year, and I again left again. But I knew about this growing up, but when you're a young person, it doesn't register. And a few years ago, I went down there to do some research on another project I was interested in doing, and I happened to be there on July 1st. And it just struck me how strange it was. Like in the morning, and flags are at half-mast, there's military parades, you know, people are going through all this ritual. And then in the afternoon, everything flips and it becomes a celebration. I happened to be at the Newfoundland Memorial University doing research at the Institute for Newfoundland Studies, and so I decided to, while I'm here, let's find out more about this and what all is behind it. And then it led to this project. I served for 2 years in the reserves of Royal Newfoundland Regiment as a young person, so I have that personal connection to it. It was the 100th anniversary, so I thought this was a good time to do the project. It's also in the middle of a series of a body of work which has 6 pieces, like this is number 3. So I felt this was a good time to do this piece. These events, they may have occurred in Newfoundland, but you can relate them to other societies, other cultures throughout the world. In this particular one, where there's a lot of things that are fragile and breakable, like ceramic, like glass, like mirrors, I think it's appropriate because bodies with bullets and bombs are very fragile. By putting it on multiple walls, the reflections, you not only get the 68 survivors, but the reflection gives you a sense that the souls of the people who were killed the day before are with you. The identity disc, I just chose those as a way to represent the individual. Although there was hundreds of people, each one was an individual, and they meant something to probably a lot of people, a lot of families that were thousands of miles away across an ocean. It was my way to bring the individual in there without bringing a specific individual in. Their history is interesting. When I was doing the research on it, like they're made of asbestos and put on a rope. Like asbestos in today's world is dangerous by itself, you know. Before 1916 there was just one, and then in 1916 they added a second one because they were losing track of the people that were getting killed without the 2 identity tags. But the second one was, rather than make it like the first, which was a disc, they made it in an octagon shape. And a different color, it was green. So I thought that was interesting. It reminds me when when the exhibition is set up, not to take myself too seriously. Even if the topic I'm talking about is very serious, there's still a lot I don't know, and there's a lot we all don't know, and don't get too full of who you are and that sort of thing. In all my work and all the things that I do about, the most important thing to me is human life. A disrespect and a disregard or abuse of it in any form is never a good thing, and it doesn't matter if it's Newfoundland or China or the US. Like, lives matter. They should be paramount, not war, not violence.